Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Evil Dungeon Master. I'm back with another episode to review. Fireside Chat is back, or we're going to call it Fireside Reviews. I am the Evil Dungeon Master. This is Jeff sitting next to me this way.
Hello.
And Jeff is at his brick wall in his backyard, apparently. So, and I'm at my new extravagant summer house, apparently. So,
Is that your summer house? Oh, your winter house is much bigger. That's right.
Yeah, this is my East Texas house. So, you know, or is it West Texas? I don't know. We're from the Wild West. I don't know. Whatever. But today we're going to be reviewing Those Pesky Orcz by Adamantite Games. They emailed me to my email address, ask the Evil DM, or ask the DM at theevildm.com is my public email address. From Adamantite Games, saying I did a review of Those Pesky Goblins. That was the one we did the review on. And they said, could you do a review of Those Pesky Orcz? I said, sure, not a problem. I said, I'm not gonna give you a review or anything that's perfect. I said, I'm gonna give it fair and, to the point. I said, and Jeff will do the same thing. And he's like, absolutely, that's fine. So we're gonna get right to it so we don't waste your time. But you can pick up this book on Amazon. I'll put a link in the comments. I think it's only in print, and I think you can get a PDF from the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. Not positive. He didn't really say, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, it's just a regular print order. But anyway, I got a PDF of it because he wanted me to review it. So let's put this up on here and get going right away and get rid of the stupid banner. So this is the cover. First things we want to say about the cover is it is orcs with pig faces. Not the orcs that we know today, because old school orcs had pig faces.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And this is compatible with pretty much any edition of Dungeons and Dragons, old school wise. So basic, 1E, even 2E if you really want to. But I do like that it has the orc faces. That was the first thing I noticed, and I was like, oh, good. The age group for this is generally about 12 to 18 or 12 plus. So it's the same thing as pretty much Dungeons and Dragons. Even old school D&D was that age group anyway.
PG-13.
Yeah. Parental guidance. Basically, he's saying it's people that age can do it, but, parents' guidance. Anytime it's PG, whether it's from Jeff, you have kids. If it's anything's PG, you check it out, and then if it's cool for them, you let them watch it. So it's the parents' job to monitor what the kids are doing, not the companies. They put these products out, and if you don't like it as a parent, you either don't buy it, you boycott it, or you just let them play.
Or you just don't. If you don't want your kids to play it, just don't buy it. The end. Other people,
exactly.
You don't have to boycott it because you don't like it. I mean, you can do what you want, but it seems a bit extreme. It seems a bit extreme.
It does. If you want to boycott it, by all means, go ahead. That's your decision. You could boycott by your wallet.
By just not buying it.
That's true. Just don't
buy it. Buy it more.
Buy it forever.
Buy 3 copies.
3 copies.
3 copies.
Right. 3 copies. Got it.
1 for your house, 1 for your room, and 1 for your summer house there in West Texas.
There you go. West Texas right away, man. You like my piano back here?
Oh, the other way.
Here.
There you go.
The piano back there?
The grand piano. The baby grand.
Yeah. The baby grand back there is awesome, isn't it? Anyway, this is a first edition compatible role-playing game. It says it there. The art is by Mick McArt, which is a real person, because I remember when Those Pesky Goblins came out, and it was like Mick McArt, and my co-host and I were just like, is that a real person? Because of the last name, Mick McArt. And he is a real person. I've talked to him before. He's commented on things. He's on Facebook, so he's a good artist. He's a very good artist, as you'll see.
He's a good artist, yeah. And I like the old school black and whites. It just brings the nostalgic feel back.
Yeah, and it's line art, which is perfect. And the Adamantite, I keep saying Adamantite Games logo. This is the new company that was formerly known as TSR, the former TSR company. Now they're, and I guess the company is just probably Justin Lanaza and Ernie Gygax at this point, when using Mick Art as their freelance artist, and Jeff Leeson probably as a proofreader. I don't know if they're actually part of the company or freelancers. I don't know. I don't communicate with them, so I don't know. Some more beautiful line art and a special dedication to the real grognards out there, the real ones in old school gaming, not the assholes out there. And
We
I
don't
love
talk about those
this.
grognards.
Yeah. I love the staircase thing like this. I had a cover for one of the things I was doing. It was something similar to this, but had people kind of walking up of it. I never wound up using it. So, dedication by Ernie Gygax, talking about gaming and his life in gaming and things he's done with Gary Gygax, and basically just a dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, get the Gygax name in there, get the stamp of approval from the Gygaxes, boom, done. The Edgar Allan Poe, I'm not sure why this was here.
Just a little bit of flavor to it, a little
Yeah,
bit of
I'm just.
taste. I mean, you'll find out later on, in I guess spoiler alerts, when you get down to the mission, he puts a lot of flavor in the rooms. So
Mhm.
I can see him putting a little bit of extra flavor into the
Oh, yeah.
introduction.
There's a lot of flavor in this thing. We got a forward by Justin, which he lived through the Satanic Panic like I did when we started gaming. I don't know about you, Jeff. Did you live through most of it?
A little bit, not as much
And
as you guys. I didn't have my stuff burned.
no, I didn't have my stuff burned, but I did have some of it taken away from me. And I feel bad because I had to, when I played, I couldn't play at my house. I had to go to my friend's house. We played in the backyard. We actually played in the shed one time so his mom wouldn't know. I went to my friend's basement and we played, but in this thing, Justin wasn't allowed to go to his gaming store, and he had to sit outside on the back porch gaming through a screen door just to say he actually did not go into the shop.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get your fix.
I mean, yeah. Again, more beautiful line art.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get some introductions and lifespans of orcs and things like that, just to get you in the mood. You'll dip your toe in there. Just a little bit about it.
Well,
That orcs.
it's
Yeah,
more
go
or
ahead.
less get him in the mindset of being an orc. And this introduction, I think it's wonderfully done. It actually makes me kind of want to play as a half orc, because you can't play orcs in basic, but well, I mean, in the advanced. But yeah, it was really well done.
Well, you can play half orcs.
Yep, you can play half orcs.
I also like that they're going with the theme of putting Z's on everything that they actually made properties for. Goblins, and I'm assuming kobolds is next, so
Yeah.
I have a feeling it will be. All right. And then we get the social cast: the ancient elder, the chieftain, the lord, the blackguard, the priest and the conjurer, the marauder, the orcs, the women, and the children. I'm assuming they didn't go with shaman because for whatever reason, I'm not sure. But the priest is pretty much a shaman anyway. So,
Well, if we're going back old school rules, there was never shamans. There's never blackguard either, but there was priests and never shamans. Shamans didn't come around to what? To edition 3, 4.
No, there were shamans in the D&D AD&D cast. So
Okay.
then he goes on to explain which one each one is. The one thing I want to point out is blackguards are a mix of a thief and an assassin rolled into one. That's the difference of what they basically are. And a marauder is like your fighter, and conjurers are your magic user, and the priests are obviously your priest / shaman. Yeah.
Healer.
They give you some common orc tribe names that are around. You obviously can make up your own. You don't need to use what they have here. And then they give you a quick little overview of character creation. I think personally this is a little kind of, I don't know, it feels like this was just kind of jammed in here because I didn't have anything else on this page. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this could have been a whole page itself with bullet points and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, they could probably easily done a page or two. I mean, This is Lanaza, so he could definitely have put, you know, a whole book on character creation, probably.
Probably. I do like that they say you have to be you have to be lawful evil to start, but you could be any combination of evil. But you can't be anything. You can't be good at the start of the game. Mostly lawful evil, but if you want to go chaotic or neutral evil, go ahead. But you can't be good. That's one thing you can't be.
Or neutral. You can't be neutral either. Just
Yeah.
evil.
Well, you could be. Well, according to this, you can be any combination of lawful, chaotic, neutral, or evil. So you could be. So does that mean you could be lawful neutral, chaotic neutral?
Oh, you just can't be good. Okay.
Yeah, you just can't be good. Is apparently what he's saying.
Lawful
Okay.
neutral. Okay, so double
That's
neutral.
Fine. Yeah. No, that's just be true neutral at this point. So traits. This is how you kind of what your orc is.
This is how you stand out from the crowd.
Thank you. Like in goblins, pesky goblins, you had certain traits about you that made you different. Like Jeff said, stand out from the other goblins. This is how you stand out from the other orcs. And there's various things like the color of skin, the claws, you got your regeneration, you have a monstrous appetite, which is kind of interesting. And just different things. You could have natural ability, like a sorcerer or something. You could have wings. Things to make your orc different from the plain old boring orc out there.
Yeah, from the peons in the what do you say? Peons in I can't remember. Basically, the class list. Peons and wimps. Yeah,
peons and wimps. Correct. Backgrounds. It's kind of like what you do, what you were doing before you decide to become an adventuring orc or whatever your orc is going to become. This is kind of what you did and the kind of what you start with. It's like a starting package.
I like how you could be a lord before you decide, oh yeah, I want to be an adventurer. I'm a lord. You know what? I hate being a lord. I'm going to be an adventurer.
Yeah.
Or marauder or whatever.
Well, I guess that'd be the equivalent of starting off with like a noble class or something like that. So you're kind of like a noble in the clan. You get a lot of gold too, notice.
Jeez.
Compared to everybody else, you never get silver except for the muckraker. And yes, we see this one right here called the Piss Prophet. Can diagnose disease from sight, smell, and taste of patient's urine. Cure disease once a week. This is what you start with, and that's how much silver. I mean, I probably wouldn't have called it Piss Prophet. I probably would have called it something else. But I mean, it makes sense for orcs because orcs are vile, disgusting creatures. So, of course, he's going to be a Piss Prophet.
I mean, it's a PG-13 book. You kind of have a little bit of humor when it comes into that. Yeah, well, I know some little giggle. Ooh, Piss Prophet.
I know some people were saying that this is for 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds and maybe even younger. They shouldn't be saying the word piss.
Oh, get over yourself. I mean, it's just a fun time. I see where he was going.
You know what? 12 and 13-year-olds are saying a lot worse things on the playgrounds and at school than piss.
Oh yeah, they are.
Sure, if they're at the house going, hey, daddy, I got to go piss, you'd be, a little annoyed. Sure, you'd be like, all right, language or something like that, you would say. But you're not going to be like, like that or something.
You just automatically go into the beating mode from the word piss.
Hey,
piss. No,
Gen
don't
X.
do that.
Gen X, we were brought up beat first, ask questions later, okay?
Beat first.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a parental guidance PG-13 type book. 12 to 18 will be parental guidance at least minimum. So if you're worried about your child saying the word piss, don't. And if you see that they have it, take it away. It's that simple.
I say if you're so worried about them saying piss prophet, just say pee-pee prophet, tinkle prophet,
tinkle,
making puddles prophet.
Then we got the what you would normally call the Thaco, but they call it 2-hit armor class 10 instead of 0 because Thaco is pretty much one of those copyrighted terms, I believe. So you can't
Mm,
say 2-hit 0. You have to say 2-hit 10.
so it's Thakio.
Thac
It's Italian
Thakio.
now. It's
Yo, it's a
Italian now.
Thakio. Thakio. But the thing here is that they don't have an armor class 10 on the roll dice chart, but they have it on the armor chart saying you're prone. Makes me wonder if they were using basic D&D like BX or BECMI armor class system, which was 9 for what the everything starts at, because that's usually what they did in basic.
Makes sense.
But I mean, you have to do something to change it up. So they give you the different types of armor here, which you'll see later on when we go to the equipment chart. And I know a few people that I've talked to about this said that they weren't sure about what each armor was. Yeah, they don't give you a description of any of the armors actually, but make it up. You're a GM. This is old school.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of give a rough definition of what each one's like. Like, you can imagine, alligator skin be a little bit thicker than regular leather.
I have no idea what piecemeal armor was going to be.
Like pieces of metal, like not necessarily the full plate, just chunks of metal in there. Remember, these are orcs; they're not civilized, so their full armor is not going to be full. They gotta be somewhat chaotic.
I mean, the definition of piecemeal characterized by unicinematic partial measures taken over a period of time. So I have no idea what piecemeal is.
Well,
I
you
don't know
also
if that meant to be piecemeal, maybe.
there's one orc out there's like peace. No, no. You think about it. These guys are raiders. They're looters. They don't really. I mean, they have a blacksmith, but they're not really civilized. So the pieces of metal armor that they're going to get, it's random. I mean,
Yeah.
they might have a dwarf, side of a wristband and a human sized chest mail. It might be pieces of different metal.
To be honest, I honestly don't give a shit what it is. I mean, if I'm gonna look at it, sure, I'm gonna go, what's piecemeal? All right, whatever. I use that armor. I don't need to have a description of it, to be honest. I'll make it up on my own.
Yeah, you can always do that.
And then we get into the different classes, the Marauder, the Conjurer, and you can see the level progression for hit points and damage, and then your saving throw chart. So it's all in one compact, nice little page. So you don't have to flip around for certain things, which I like a lot.
I like to give a little story life with each one.
Yeah, and they give you kind of like little quotes and things like that. We got our priest who looking less and less like a pig-faced orc, by the way.
Well, I chop it up as like in the original definition in the back what was it, page 9, where it goes into they like to interbreed with different species. Oh no, they don't like it, but they do.
They do.
They could be they could have a background of a half orc, and they come back into the clan, and eventually the half orc became the chieftain, and you get non-pig faces.
True. When I first saw this picture of the Blackguard, I didn't really look at it perspective wise.
And I did too.
I thought he had one thing over with the thing. He's like, "Hi guys," like that.
I thought it was like wide over, and he just had this huge like neck guard. I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, and then as I looked at it even more, I was like, "Oh, it's a profile shot."
Yeah,
got it.
He's like turn to his
the side.
Yeah.
But I thought he had like the one thing over with the one eye. He's like, "Hi guys, I can't really see." But yeah, it's the Blackguard. We can go to the Blackguard. Pretty much is your equivalent of an assassin. If you see assassinate, then by poison,
assassin. Yeah.
all rolled into one. And I love this right here. So you can make poisons with this class, which is something that a lot of rules don't tell you how to do. And it's telling you make a check, and if you fail that check, you ruin the batch and have to start over again, which I like.
How do you ruin poison?
You mess it up.
I mean,
Maybe just say, for example, say you're putting it together and you have to maybe boil it or something, and it's under a flame, and you knock it over and break it. Oh, the batch is
Okay,
ruined.
I can see that, ruining it by it falling all over the place. But no, I mean, it goes back to the old question, the whole hypothetical question. If a poison stays on a shelf for a very long time and it spoils, does it make it more poisonous or less poisonous?
That would be a dungeon master thing, I would think.
I mean, it's spoiled. I mean, like kind of like food. It's past its expiration date. So is it more poisonous or less poisonous?
Good question. That's a GM question, honestly. Let's roll on the chart and see, Jeff. Yes or no? No.
Roll that.
In case you wonder what we were talking about, you're new to the channel. Jeff and I play a co-op Dungeons and Dragons Basic Expert Edition game right here on the channel. We use a Game Master emulator to determine everything for us, and we just provide the story. So check that out. Basic attribute charts that pretty much every edition of Dungeons and Dragons old school has is very similar to anything you've probably seen. I'm glad they give you kind of some little blurb here and there, what charisma is used for, how constitution can be used. I mean, they probably could have spent a little more time on these, but I don't really. I already know. So here's our equipment.
I like
so there is mistakes.
Before we go on, I would like to. I just saw it right now.
You did.
I like how the fact they added the two different wines. Either you have good wine or watered down wine.
Yes. They have leather in here twice, so they missed that in editing. Which, all right, I get it. You're a small company. Things happen. I mean, look at Palladium, right? I mean, that stuff needs to be edited and re-edited constantly because of all the mistakes in that. And that's a giant company with a bunch of people that have been around since 1970 something too.
You know what? Maybe it's not a foible. Maybe they meant to do that. You could buy leather and then put leather on top of it, make it double leather, like
For
you could be double
copper.
neutral.
It's not double; it's just true neutral. Ass. But yeah, I know this is something that a lot of people were stuck on because they had this twice, and it happens. It's an editing mistake. So you know what? They change it in the next one and update it. Big deal. Or just freaking cross it out. Who cares?
If you don't like it, hey, you're the DM. Make it a different type of leather.
I wish, honestly, for the armor, they put right next to it page, what was it, 14? Page 14, so you can go back and jump over to there. But they did not. Did they have monster piece armor on there?
Yeah, it's the top right hand of the armor. Oh, you're talking about the on page 14.
Yeah.
No, I don't. They have piece armor, but not monster piece armor.
Huh. Okay, yeah, so there's no armor class for that. I mean, it's varied from 1 copper to 10 silver. So I'm thinking that it's basically that's the piece armor right there that they keep mentioning. So I don't know. Oh wait, there's the iron one. I don't know. It's
Finally,
something
they put the club as free. Oh my goodness! How often do you have a character or a player that wants to go? Well, I want to buy a club. Go out to the woods and get one.
Yeah, really. I mean, just go buy one. I mean, just go break one off a tree.
There you go.
Monetary system, pretty simple, standard. Oh, actually, it's not standard. 5 gold pieces equal 1 platinum. Usually it's 10. So they do in the 5s. 10 copper equal 1 silver. 20 silver equal 1 gold. And then you put electrum in. 2 electrums equal. Okay. Wow. They changed it up. Okay, cool.
Could you imagine what an orc banker looks like? I mean, they have a monetary system.
Pretty weird. Orc magic. So pretty much there's some pretty interesting spells here, like summoning trolls and goblins and kobolds. Mm-hmm. They don't, for the most part, use material components unless they're summoning something, and then you actually need and it says for the most part they don't use material component, or they hardly ever use it. They're mostly verbal and semantic gestures. Semantic, wow. So they're just verbal and semantic, and they have a bunch of really interesting spells here that they created for the game, and they're mostly focused on being evil and goblins, orcs. Yeah, I saw this picture recently.
Oh, that's a picture of my ex-wife.
Oh, Jeff.
You need to get a third job. I don't want to work.
Anyway, moving on from Jeff's life.
Oh, by the way, I have to say, out of these summoning
Yeah.
ones, like I'm looking at Create Cobalt. We're here on page 21.
Yeah.
There's no there's no lasting time. It didn't say how long it lasts. It says duration 1 permanent. So once you create a Cobalt, it's there.
Yes. It's there until it dies. So that's pretty much it. 1 permanent means it's just permanent. They should have just left it as permanent, probably.
Yeah. But Summon Troll is definitely a duration of 5 rounds, so.
Well, yeah, the trolls are powerful, so. All right, so they also have Summon Demon.
Mm-hmm.
Which I find interesting. It's a lesser demon, but you get to choose which one. Apparently, he lives in the sewer system too. So,
I'll get you, Spider-Man. Looks like the Green Goblin.
It does. It does. You're right. Priest spells, same thing you've probably seen. There's a little bit of a difference here.
Oh, they actually have purify food and drink. So,
yeah,
if your orc is bougie, and it's like, I don't like maggots in my food. Well, there you go. You can purify their meat.
But they give flavor. Cure wounded monster. Okay. I like that. It's all evil work oriented. So let me get past this. Okay, so random magic items. I like that they added this in. I love randomness tables when you're doing an adventure for people to give out stuff. It's easy to figure out because it's 1 to 200. So you roll 1d6, and that determines if it's 1 to 100 for 1 to 3, and then 4 to 6 determines if it's 101 to 200. Then you roll your percentile, and depending on which bracket of the 100 or below 100 is, that's where you're going to look. Easy enough. Mm-hmm. When I first read it, I'm like, wait, huh? And I went, oh, okay. You have to read the full thing, and then you get it. So he gives you 200 different things, various weapons, armor, and everything like that for you to have in your adventure. Of course, as the GM, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to roll randomly. You can pick anything you want for your adventure.
You're the DM. So, yeah.
I'm wondering, let's see if there's any hidden gems in here. I didn't see any hidden gems in here. But I do see Tensor the Mad. I wonder if that's... I think it's spelled differently, but it reminds me of Tensor's Floating Disc. I think that was the name. Encounter chart. If you want a random encounter chart for your game, this is how it's done. And it's 1 to 30. So instead of you getting a custom die roller or rolling a D30 die, which is not a normal die to have, but you can get them. It's the same philosophy. Again, roll 1d6. It tells you it's 1 to 10. Then you roll your 10-sided dice. 3 to 4, 11 to 20. Roll again, and a pick there. And then 5 to 6, 21 to 30, pick there. It's pretty easy to do. You could probably roll them both at the same time and then be like, oh, okay, done. So, and make that noise too. Yep. Another beautiful line art picture. I believe this is another McArt picture. I don't see his signature anywhere though. No.
Maybe he likes to hide it like a Where's Waldo.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. A lot of artists do kind of hide it in the picture so they don't do. Yeah. I caught it. Shut up.
Piss Prophet.
The Piss Prophet hit it. Yeah.
The doo-doo.
The doo-doo. Maybe he should have called it a doo-doo prophet.
They existed. This one does have his WM there at the bottom right.
Yeah. I love this too. I like the big it just definitely sets the mood of a creepy, dark cave that you're
Oh,
going
it's
into.
perfect setting. I love the spiral. Well, not spiral. It's a winding staircase. That's pretty cool.
So the whole game is about 38 pages of rules. The rest of it going forward here is No Man's Land by Dave Johnson and with Justin Lanazzo writing it. Dave Johnson, I'm not familiar with who he is at all, to be honest. I know he was someone that worked with him in the past. I don't know. I never knew who he was. Adamantite Games again, dungeon module OZ-1. And here's the doorway into the Orc Kingdom.
And Orc Kingdom. I was like, because it gave us lots of Orc Kingdoms.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through this entirely to the point of every page because I don't want to ruin it. And there's no point. It's about 50 something pages long. So there are so I'm not going to go through any of it actually, but I'm going to say there's a lot of flavor, like Jeff said. There's a lot of information for you to use as a GM. The one thing that I noticed was there was one spot that said enter information here, which they blew past, and I think they should have put the encounter information there. Happens through layout and editing. I get it. As a GM that's experienced, you can easily fix that yourself. If you're new, you might have a little bit of a problem, but little common sense, look around. Okay, I'll add this here. Fine. Or contact them. It's not like this is 1985 and you got a nodule and you're like, oh shit, what does this mean? Let me type up my letter to Gary Gygax and wait 3 to 6 weeks if he even answers me.
If he even sees it.
That too. And there's also various spots where it says go to room whatever with page 00, which was a placeholder when they were editing it on Word documents that they never fixed.
I will state this before we get to the little artsy piece, but I like the name of the town, Orcsburg.
Okay. What artsy piece are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about the room, the room definitions, the way they describe each and every room. It's just so in depth and detailed.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I said, I'm not going to go into any of that because I don't want. I'm just going to go right to the end. And this is the back cover mimicking the front, but we have here's your character sheet, which I don't particularly know if I like it or not. I mean, I like that it has the flavor, but I think it's busy. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's very busy. I would say this is more or less a guideline to what a character should kind of look like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some boxes that are big enough. Like if you look at the language box, it's only halfway filled in. So, the equipment, I bet you they're gonna need a lot more equipment. I would have a back sheet to this, just to add in some miscellaneous things,
Like notes or something like that.
Absolutely, but overall, I understand what they're going for.
Mm-hmm.
It's put all your basic information here, and write down your extra stuff on the side.
Yeah, exactly, or on the back of the sheet if you want.
Yeah.
Dungeon Hobby Shop ad if you want to see a piece of history where things were the root of everything. Please come to Dungeon Hobby Shop. They give you the information to do that. I don't think TSR Con exists anymore, to be honest, so they may have to fix that because that company is defunct.
Oops.
The Unremembered Realms. I don't know anything about that. All items available. Oh, I don't know anything about this at all.
I will give a wag of the finger on page 82.
Okay, I'll get there. This is part of the. Is that AI generated art?
That is AI generated art.
What is it supposed to say?
Orcz or a list merit.
It almost looks like it is an M, but then it could have been an N with an A. Yeah, it's definitely.
It's AI art.
They could have probably cut it off right here.
I would not put that there.
Yeah, I would have cut it off right here where my little pointer is, and just put it there. But I don't know. Whatever.
You can kind of date this back to a couple of years ago when AI art was just starting to come and become more popularized.
I don't care about AI art. I use AI art for my games all the time. I'll use it for the stuff I publish as well, as long as it looks fine. And I just tell you ahead of time. I don't care.
The thing I would have gotten rid of in this picture is probably just the word, the
Yeah.
sign.
Oh yeah.
Everything else looks great.
I would have cut it off right here where my pointer's going across. I don't know if you could see that.
Yeah.
Right here, somewhere around, maybe right even below it.
And Ladon's probably like, I don't care.
He doesn't care. I mean, it's a picture to get you in the mood. That's all. So anyway, that's gonna be the end of the review for the Orcz game. And what do you give it out of 10, Jeff? Oh wait, didn't we used to have like fireside points or something like that from the past?
That we'll have to look up again because we haven't done these in a year.
Yeah. So how many campfires do you give it?
I give it a bonfire out of a forest fire.
That is not a measure of anything.
Well, think about it. What's a bonfire? It's a giant fire. What's a forest fire? It's where the whole forest is on fire. Basically an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. It does have its mistakes. It does have its problems, but overall, if you're a good GM, you can fix all those things. I agree with Jeff. It's an 8 fires out of 10 fires. So
this game, I would say, is probably best if your campaign is getting to the point where things are getting slow and methodical, and you kind of need a change of pace, and your little murder hobo party needs a break, and they really just want to get into being a murder hobo. This is the game to go to.
This is definitely a 1 to 3. Like you make up characters and you're like, oh crap, the guys can't make it tonight, but then a couple people showed up. You just basically say, hey, we're gonna do some orcs tonight as a side adventure, so you can still play with your group.
Right.
That's what I would do.
And I also love the fact that it's it gives you the mindset of an orc culture. So when you're out there with your party slaughtering orcs left and right, it kind of gives you the tone and kind of gives you a way to flavor up your orcs.
Yes, and orcs really don't have feelings unless you play the game Orcs. So with that said, we're going to head out. I'll drop links below. If you're first time here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment below. Don't forget to catch me and Jeff playing in our co-op games. They come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Usually try to keep them under 30 minutes so it doesn't take up much time for you to watch. Sometimes they're even less, which is better. Most people said they like it a little bit less. Keep commenting, everybody that's commenting. We appreciate all those comments, which we're getting a lot lately, a lot of likes. The channel is growing. We're over 3,000 now. So with that said, going to head out saying good night, everybody, and God bless.
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet, from your head down to your feet. They put you in